And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Welcome to the Politics, Prepping, and Paranormal Podcast.
Flibbity-jibbity nonsense.
I thought it was terrific.
Not just big, it's yeah.
Let's go.
Welcome, and thanks for listening to the Politics, Prepping, and Paranormal Podcast. My name is Jeff Morey, and I am your host. This week, I have a special episode on tap for you. I'm excited to be joined by a couple of social media titans who will discuss with me the evolution of social media. We will discuss the history of social media, the current platforms, formats, trends, topics, and technology, and we'll discuss the future of social media. So stay with me because this will be one you don't want to miss. But before I welcome my guest to the show, let's take a look at some of this week's big news stories. In a move that has shocked many, this week President Trump has revoked the security clearances of several high-profile Democrats, including Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, New York Attorney General Letitia James, former Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, and even revoking the security clearances of former Presidents Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Trump said in a post on his social media platform Truth Social, quote, "There is no need for Joe Biden to continue receiving access to classified information." I'm sorry, I just can't help but laugh about this a little bit. As Trump's team continues to turn Washington upside down, Elon Musk and his Doge government efficiency team have reportedly been blocked from accessing several government systems. U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmeyer ruled on Saturday that the Presidential Commission does not have the right to access U.S. Treasury systems after a group of anti-Trump attorneys sued Doge. Musk released a statement saying, "How on earth are we supposed to stop fraud and waste of taxpayers' money without looking at how money is spent?" This comes after reports that Doge and Musk have uncovered massive corruption and wasteful spending stemming from USAID, the United States Agency for International Development. WikiLeaks published a report claiming that nearly $500 million had been used to finance an organization that had access to media outlets that reached over 778 million people, and possibly used to further support social media censorship initiatives and promote certain narratives. The Washington Post also reported Saturday that Doge had also gained access to FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, who many conspiracy theorists such as myself have long thought was one of the worst and most corrupt agencies in all of the federal government. I can't wait to see what revelations we hear about their findings. In other news, a magnitude 7.6 earthquake struck in the Caribbean on Saturday night, about 130 miles southwest of the Cayman Islands, prompting a tsunami advisory for the Caymans and Puerto Rico. As of the airing of this show, local officials are warning residents to move as far inland as possible. Hopefully everyone in that area will be safe and won't get any damage. Our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone in the vicinity. In world news, in the continued ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas, 3 more Israeli hostages have been released this weekend. In exchange, Israel has freed a group of Palestinian prisoners from a prison in the occupied West Bank. A spokesperson for Hamas said that a total of 183 prisoners have been or will be released. To date, 16 Israeli and 5 Thai hostages have been released thus far in the first 42 days of the agreement. And last story of the week, of course, the Super Bowl is this weekend. I'm sure by the time most of you hear this, the Super Bowl will probably be over, and I'm sure the Chiefs will probably win again. Is everyone still watching the Super Bowl this year? I really just don't care. I'm so tired of the Patriots 2.0, the Chiefs, and I've never really liked the Eagles either. Have any of y'all ever seen the Eagles coach? He's probably a great guy, but man, he literally looks like a drunk walking and talking mugshot. Anyways, I probably won't watch, and I really don't care if Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift get engaged midfield after the game, like everyone says will probably happen. Looking forward to football in the fall and hopefully rooting for different teams next year in the Super Bowl. Okie dokie, folks. I think that covers most of the big news stories in our country and around the world. At this time, I am pleased to welcome my guests, TikToker extraordinaire, Dirt in the Box, and Facebook and X powerhouse, Joanna LaFleur. Welcome and thanks for coming on my show.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
Jeff.
having me.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be had.
All right, so before we get started, would you guys tell the audience a little about yourselves and what you do on your platforms?
You want to go first, Dirt?
Yeah, okay. So my name's Dirt. I am on TikTok primarily, also on YouTube. I started my channel back in 2021. And to summarize the channel and me, I'm an outspoken, unfiltered person who builds simulators. And I do a lot of gaming, and I started building a simulator that ended up on TikTok, that ended up getting about 170,000 followers at this point. And it's pretty much changed my life, my current living, day to day. So I'm not sure how much you want me to get into it on this first question, but that's pretty much where I'm at this point. I'm a TikTok extraordinaire, and I'm a gamer, and I build simulators.
Nice.
That's
I'm
awesome.
Joanna. I'm a dementia expert, and I do dementia education and support for families that are caring for someone with dementia. My biggest platform is Facebook, but also TikTok. I'm not on X.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry. I thought you told me you were on X.
no,
My apologies.
I'm on Facebook, and TikTok mainly, but I'm also on YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Nice. So yeah,
That's
you cover the
fascinating.
whole platform trifecta of everything.
Yeah.
There, then. That's awesome. So how long have you guys been doing this, and what made you get started on social media?
I'll start first, Joanna. So again, I started in about 2019 building a simulator that I was building. I was on Facebook, and at that point, Facebook was going in a lot of different directions. I ended up disconnecting from Facebook for the time being at that point, and I was kind of in social media dead zone. I was not on social media for almost 18 months, 2 months, like 2 years, 18 months, 2 years, no social media at all. Um, and I said again, when I built the simulator, I said, all right, well, let me try to get back into this. I wasn't a fan of TikTok at that point. It was all kinds of talk. It's a China app, this and that. And I said, well, let me just give it a try. And I posted a couple of videos and started getting some good reaction with the simulator stuff, and had one good live one night that I had like 5,000 live viewers, and overnight I got 50,000 followers pretty
Wow.
much. And it just started blowing up from there. At that point, I was advertising trucking simulators the most. I became this character on there, which was just really a part of my personality that kind of just got exuberated from lives and all this interaction with people. And I got contacted by a bunch of people. I opened up a small business in North Florida because of it, building simulators. I got contacted by a CDL training company. Ended up,
Really?
yeah, I built it was actually a Department of Labor build, and it was through the Southwest Oregon Investment Board. And they said they had a bunch of training facilities up and down the West Coast, and could I help build a mobile rig? And I said, yeah, why not? Send me
That's
the van.
awesome.
So they sent me a Mercedes Sprinter van. I built the whole thing out. We took a dashboard out of a 389 Peterbilt, put it into the back of the truck, triple screens around. I mean, completely immersive simulator. And that is actually traveling up and down the West Coast. I actually had a buddy of mine say he saw it in Las Vegas actually a couple months ago. So, so between that and the TikTok and all that, this is pretty much where I'm at. So it started, the social media aspect of it started in about late 2020, in the midst of the lockdown.
Wow. Yeah, social media really exploded during all of COVID. It really took off at that point. So that's awesome. You really keyed my interest with that because my day job is a truck driver.
Oh,
I saw
So,
that. I saw that, and I didn't
yep,
know that when we first talked, and I saw that after the fact. I was like, "Oh, that's very
yep.
interesting."
And that's how
I
me and
am
you. That's how
very
me and you hooked up. Dirt was my buddy Patriot Maverick. Shout out to him real quick. You know, he's the one that hooked me up with you. He's a coworker of mine, and
right,
he's a big TikTok guy. You know, and
right,
he's the one that first told me about you when I
right.
told him about my plans for this episode. And you know, he drives with me. He works the same place that I do. So
Nice.
that's how me and Dirt got hooked up in the first
Yeah.
place.
I'm very
So
supportive of the truckers in real life. I mean, I know I do a simulator online, but a lot of times, I'm promoting recognition and awareness to people that trucking is such a bloodline of the nation and the world that without trucking, they don't realize, that you
yeah.
shut trucking down for a week and our society will collapse.
Mhm.
So I
well, I
really,
appreciate that.
that's part of what I do is to help the trucking community and to get awareness. I say all the time, if you want to thank a trucker, slow down, let them in. So so thank you for your service in trucking.
The military are the true heroes, not
Oh,
truck
yeah,
drivers. We
yeah,
we
yeah,
do
yeah.
go in and
But
do our
look,
jobs, but I
we
mean,
all do our part.
my dad and my granddad were veterans, so I'm a big point of my show going forward is going to be veterans and children's charities. Anything I can do for both,
Nice.
I definitely want to. That's always my heart's been with always both of those. So
Very nice.
that's an awesome story, Dirt man. Appreciate it.
Thank
Joanna, you just
Yeah,
got back from the
so
Dominican Republic, didn't you?
I started at the end of 2023 actually. Just I have been doing dementia care 20 years and I was like I'm going to just use my knowledge. I'm just going to jump on and just like say a quick video of like an education piece on dementia and I just started doing it and I started in like September and in November around Thanksgiving my first video hit 1 million views on Facebook.
Wow.
And it was my video that was on Alzheimer's stages 1, 2, and 3, and it just like solidified in me the huge need for education on dementia, and the comments and things I get from families is just like so touching, really, and like very also sad sometimes because there's people that are like our medical system is failing people with dementia and
Mm-hmm.
they have to go on TikTok and Facebook to find their education pieces. It's kind of sad, but I also really feel privileged to be able to do it. And so then my Facebook kind of blew up. So I have like 150,000 followers on there. And then my TikTok is continuing to grow and I have like 79,000 followers on there. And then the other ones are kind of little here and there. So.
Hey, and there's another hero right there, Dirt. I mean, she's giving back,
God bless you.
doing great work. That's awesome
Absolutely.
to hear. Absolutely awesome to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if I could comment back real quick, I like how you said that's where people are going for their information, and it's sad in a way, but it's almost better in a way as well because people are going to the sources now, right?
Yeah.
You're the person, you are the first line to that person, right? So who better to get the experience from than someone like you? So that's touching.
Yeah, that's a good
make sure.
point.
Definitely
Yeah.
want to follow you on TikTok, so I'll get your
Okay.
information.
Yeah, and I think for me, I have an interesting perspective of my sharing, and I keep my tips really short. So I try to keep them like a minute and a half. And I come from like hands-on caregiving, having a family member with dementia, and then owning 2 companies with dementia, and now I have my nonprofit. So I think it's a good perspective, and I just get really real and raw with the information, and just like let people have it because people just need
That's
it
what
so
they're
much.
looking for. What they're
Mhm.
looking for.
That's great. That's awesome. So looking back, obviously this episode is the evolution of social media. That's why I wanted a couple of social media superstars on here to chat over it with me. Do either of y'all remember, and did y'all have MySpace and some of the old school? You remember the beginnings of like social media in its infancy.
Yeah.
Good old days.
The good old days. Remember Tom? I miss Tom.
I don't think I would have ever imagined it to be as big as everything is now. Like
Seriously.
Yeah.
It was just wild. I just remember being like 20 years old or something like that. And I would just hop on my MySpace, and that was when all this was new. And it's just insane what it's become. When
Yeah.
It's been a fast moving 20 years.
So, I mean, like people like Dirt it's a career. I mean, and how it's taken off and it connects people. I mean, yeah, there's obviously a bad side to everything, but I mean, it's amazing how it's connecting people.
Definitely. It does create an amazing community for sure.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, next question's for you there, Mr. Dirt. How did you feel about the possibility of the TikTok ban before President Trump took over and basically, for lack of better terms, rescued it?
So I'm going to be as forthcoming as possible here. And especially since we're talking about the evolution of social media. My personal opinion is TikTok isn't what it used to be because of the censorship that's started when the United States government got involved with it a few years back. I was on board with TikTok pretty early on, 2020, like I said, and it was a different TikTok back then. There was freedom of speech. There was every comment. It was much different. It was much different, and even the content has evolutionized through the years. Back then it was short dances,
Mm-hmm.
funny things, and
Mm-hmm.
you'd go, and now it's, it's and it's good. It's expanded, but with the good comes the bad, like you said earlier, Jeff. And so as far as the ban went, and without getting too much into too much, I don't agree with any kind of ban against any kind of social media. I think I don't watch news anymore. And for a reason, because I feel like a big part of what's delivered to us is manipulated for one side or the other, or
Right.
whatever the case is. And I think a lot of what we receive information wise is manipulated. I think it's fantastic. And I think there's nothing better than this one-on-one communication, one-on-one experience. Again, like I said about Joanna, what better person to go to about information for dementia than Joanna, who's in the field dealing with it. She's got personal experience and professional experience. That's who you want to go to for information like that. So to me, that's the best part about social media right now, is the fact that we are open and have open communication to subject matter experts on so many different things.
Very well
And if I
said.
need help with something with dementia, if I start going, if I could reach out to someone like Joanna, and that's going to be a real one-on-one interaction. I'm going to get the true experience. So for me, banning any social media is against everything that I stand for.
Right.
Period.
Absolutely.
The manipulation is out there, and I don't know how. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much further into that, but that's pretty much where I feel about all of that. I don't agree with any kind of ban. I don't agree with any kind of censorship. At that point, when they said shut it off, I was like, you know what? Good. Now you know how it feels to get censored, TikTok.
Right.
Because to me, if you're going to tell us something that we're not going to say is okay, which could be an opinion or whatever, but now you're upset that a government is telling you, no, sorry, you can't operate. I mean, to me, that's a bit of the, the whatever the saying is, eating crow or whatever the heck, whatever it is.
Right.
But so that's my thoughts on it, Jeff.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about the current state of social media and all the platforms. Correct me, you guys are probably more experts on this than me, but isn't X the world's largest platform now? And like TikTok hadn't it become the largest in the US? I'm not sure if I'm right on that or not, but I know
The most right now.
which one.
Yeah, and I'm not sure which one has the most.
Okay, I know they're both huge.
Yeah.
Do y'all think they're here to
at
stay,
this point,
and are they set up for longevity? For to be around 20 years from now, type thing.
Are you asking about TikTok?
Both of them. Well, just
Yeah, I mean,
all
I
these
think the
platforms in
thing that
general.
people don't not everyone understands, if you're not an influencer and you're not doing social media, people make, a good living that they could never make in other jobs doing this kind of stuff on the side or doing it full time. And there's so many small businesses that have benefited significantly
Oh yeah,
because of TikTok and Facebook and stuff. But there's been businesses saved by TikTok because an influencer will go on there and be like, "Oh, let me try their food," and then they'll go it'll be swarmed with people, and it'll save a business. So, I think the thing is it's bigger than people even know, you know.
absolutely. I mean, like for me, for podcasting, it's there's so many different businesses that have a podcast that
Yeah.
advertise their services with a podcast. I'm on a ton of Facebook groups and stuff myself, and it's funny. I saw somebody post the other night about they did a podcast about like a local baseball team or something like that. It was like a Texas baseball team, and it was hilarious because they were posting that somebody had stole their idea and was doing a clone podcast. And this was like a small Texas town, and it was just funny to listen to. I mean, they were going back and forth about it, but I mean, even just get like a little league baseball team, just to have they literally have a podcast like about, like a little Texas. Texas is so big with sports anyway. Like a little league baseball team. I was like, that's awesome. That they do something like that. So, all right, guys. Well, let's talk tech. I'm a tech idiot, so y'all have to help me with all this stuff. The biggest challenge for me personally doing this podcast is tech. We have AI infiltrating our society like never before. X says Grok, and TikTok uses Taco, and Facebook also uses some kind of AI. I'm a big X user, but I have no idea how to use Grok. Can you guys, do you have any more informational AI that you can help share with the listeners that, how it affects socials and how it's going to affect socials in the future?
I mean, for me, for as far as AI, what I use is like I'll use ChatGPT to help me with some of my copy or something like that. Um, I haven't used anything directly on either platform for AI. I mean, I played around with it a little bit on TikTok, but it's not super. It wasn't super accurate for me when I was doing the pictures and stuff. But I think it's getting there. I mean, I think it could be a benefit to it. I do think that because I mean, it's made my life a lot easier with content creation for sure. And I mean, it's when your ideas are blocked, you just go to ChatGPT and tell it something, and it'll tell you. So
Right. Dirt, you want to add anything, or
Um,
do you use it at all with any of your stuff you do?
Not directly. I have used it in making a couple of videos and stuff, but I really feel like we're in such a weird transition period, right? Especially people are around our age. We've come from the non-informational age, and now we're in the informational age and the technology age of life, and everything is evolving so quick, and there's goods and bads to all of it, right? And
Right.
AI can be one of our biggest, and it will be one of our greatest accomplishments. But like on the flip side of that, right? I have children and stuff, right? And instead of them having to know something, they can just ask their phone, GPT, to write a
yeah,
paper or to write, so we have to be extra careful to not get into an idiocracy situation. And I
hmm
don't know if you guys ever seen that movie or not, but it's really funny, and it's about how like dumb people become. And
hmm
it's a comedy, and like they're wondering why the plants aren't growing is because the sprinklers are shooting Gatorade onto them and not water. And
oh,
like, although that sounds like ridiculous, like, if you track it down, and the smarter our machinery becomes, the less thinking we have to do,
hmm
which can ultimately create a problem with the younger people and their synapse development in their brain.
Right.
From a gaming position, it's all over gaming. The new graphics cards. I mean, it's all over game. It's all over. It's impossible to stop at this point. I would think, to be honest with you, Joanna, I would think that AI could play a vital part in a dementia situation, because AI can figure out how to stop it, right? I mean, I don't know the
maybe I don't know.
interacting of dementia, but we don't know. Like, if this one AI program, I'm trying not to get into too much depth here, but if this one AI program could do the brain power of 1 million people and figure out how to cure or stop or slow down dementia, let it run free.
For sure, yeah.
You know,
And then on the
But-
flip side to that,
right?
there's
Exactly.
truck drivers like me, and there's autonomous self-driving trucks on the road
Right.
that, 10 years from now, 20 years from now,
Mhm.
how long before I'm out of the job? I don't think it's anything I have to worry about in my lifetime,
Right.
but
right.
it's the type of, machines and AI. And I'm going to be doing an episode pretty soon on AI because I'm fascinated by it. And it's been even when I did my intro episode for my podcast at the very beginning, it was like I had a list of about 20 episodes I wanted to do. And it was one of the ones that I wanted to do, talk about the evolution of AI and how it's,
Mhm.
are we going to be living in a Terminator type scenario where the machines
Right.
take over and all that? But it's just in the last, especially like 5 years, it's just insane how much it has grown. And like on X, I see all these follow trains that have all this AI art that people generate for it, and it's crazy. And,
See,
you know,
I think like you'll be okay in your in our generation, right?
absolutely.
But like you said, like
Future,
two generations
two
from us,
generations
there's
from
not going to
now.
be a need for truck drivers, but there's going to be a need for someone to fix the truck that is digitally controlled. So it's gonna old jobs are gonna end, new jobs are gonna be created, and people like us, even music these days is different than when it was. If we hear a
Absolutely.
song from our younger ages, it rushes back all kinds of memories and everything else. My kids don't really have that same dynamic, because
No,
music is not what it was when we were younger. Not the music itself; it's how it's presented to us. Now it's the social media is where the music is presented to us. Now it's not like we're watching MTV anymore, looking at the top 10 videos. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we used to do when we were younger. So it's gonna be weird and fascinating at the same time to see what happens in 10 years, 15 years from now, when the kids are our age or closer, and how all of these changes from social media and on incorporates into like a person's brain, really. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. All right. So I just want to get y'all's insights on the future of social media here. Uh, where do you think it's going to be in the years to come? Like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now? Can y'all give a perspective on where you think this is going and what it's going to look like? Does anybody even know?
Yeah.
I could
I
see a
mean, I
future
think it's
where
going to continue to be what it is and continue to grow. I mean, there's people, a lot of the new musicians that are coming out, they're all found on TikTok. I mean, there's people have a platform like they never had before to share their talents with the world, right? So, I think, and I know more and more people are wanting to be on social media and to try to do the influencer thing because they can see that there's money to be made there. So I think it's always going to be ever changing, and we're going to have to be ever changing with it as long as we're willing to do that. I think, it can be a good thing.
absolutely.
I agree. I definitely agree. I think it's going to forever be evolving. TikTok may be done in 3 years. Facebook might be done in 3 years, and it might be some other
Some new platform. Yeah.
right, some new I mean, we don't know. Um, but it's definitely we are in a major entertainment information transition from TV to this format, and
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
it's happening in front of our eyes, and it's happening quick, and that's why the government is getting involved because they're seeing the power in it, and it
Mhm.
really is power
It's
because there's
powerful,
power
yeah.
in numbers.
Mhm.
And good, and it's again like we've talked about all throughout this whole thing. There's good and there's
Mhm.
bad.
Right.
I've
Mhm.
met some of the best people I know on TikTok, right? But I've also met some really crummy people. Like I've had to be in touch with a police department up in North Dakota because I have somebody who's gone into a stalker type situation.
Uh-oh.
And this person is a young kid, and he's mad because we told him we can't game with him because of his age. And it's turned into this big, like class 5 stalker situation. Like,
Wow.
so again, there's with everything, there's diamonds within the coal. So you just gotta you sift through it. You take the good with the bad,
Yeah.
and you keep rolling. You
For
know.
sure. I mean, people can be super mean on the internet, right? Like, so,
Hmm.
I mean, anytime a video of mine goes viral, I've had three
Right.
hit a million views on Facebook, and I've had a few hit like 500, 700,000 on TikTok and stuff. And it's like, anytime that happens, you're going to get your
Hmm.
hair's weird, nice nose ring, you look like you're
Right.
from
Right.
sixth grade. Like, um, all that kind of stuff. But I have a funny story. The first video that went viral, actually, it was around Thanksgiving, and I had just recently been divorced or going through a divorce. So I was like I was crying a lot. So, and I have eyelashes that are fake. And when you cry a lot, your eyelashes come out. So, first one, I was in Florida visiting my mom for Thanksgiving, and like all my eyelashes were out on one side, but not the other. And I didn't really think about it when I made the video. I had no idea. that video hit 1 million views, and there were look at
Right,
do you
right,
have
right, right.
dementia? What's wrong with your eyelashes? I mean, just like
Right.
probably
Like, oh, it's
hundreds
crazy,
of
right,
comments about it.
right,
And then it was my nose ring, and then it was my hair, and then I was like, okay, let's
right,
not do this.
right.
Right.
Yeah, and then like on top of like, and I hate to bring this up too, but like on top of like, just, and that's just kind of like standard bullying. Like people can go like like evil mean,
Yeah.
like, and just a quick example, like since I got the vaccine, I have a lot of physical problems, a lot of neurological problems, whatever. I posted a video of my legs in convulsions, pretty much shaking uncontrollably. It happened the other night. I get these flare-ups, whatever. And sometimes I like to post those and say, they poisoned us, or this is what happened. These are the symptoms I'm having, just so some people who are going through that, to feel alone, they could see something and say, oh, okay, I'm not alone, right? The first 20 comments was, clown, I don't even need to say
Right.
further.
I know where you're going.
Just like, can you imagine walking past somebody that's like having convulsions on the ground and you spit on them as you're walking past?
Yeah.
And that's the difference between real life and social media too. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't do that in real life, but there's so
Behind a
many
screen.
people
Behind a
that will
screen.
do that on the
Very
screen.
brave behind a screen, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I have thick skin, guys, and I'm very upfront too. I'm very forward. So I offend a lot of people, and I get it, whatever, but like stuff like that's stuff that just cuts me deeper than anything else, just because, like, how do you step on a human being when they're down?
Yeah.
And I posted a video the other day and said, humans just need to be better in some situation. Like,
Yeah. But
Yeah,
do you find too, like when people do make those comments on my stuff now, I don't even have to say anything because my followers will go
right.
on
Oh
there
yeah.
go and
Oh
attack.
yeah.
and dog them
Mhm.
out for me. I don't have
Mhm.
to say nothing. So
The person that I said that I had to call the police on for their local police department, my group of people, we call them dirt bags,
Mhm.
dirt, whatever,
Nice.
So those people created a Discord chat, and these people I didn't even tell them to do any of this. The person posted my address and my phone number and stuff on TikTok
oh no.
because he was trying, I guess, dox me, whatever. These people started a Discord chat, little group call, and they went to bat for me like I've never
Nice.
seen.
That's
And
amazing.
it's like you said, Joanna, it's like your people, and those are the diamonds in the rough, right?
Mhm.
So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Great stories. I love it. Okay, both of you, where do you see yourself in 20 years? You think you'll still be doing social media? Are you going to be burnt out and ready to hang it up? Or where do you see yourselves 20 years from, even 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Like, you just going to keep doing what you're doing, or?
I'll answer that as straightforward as I possibly can. Because of the illness that I have, because of all this stuff that I was just talking about, if I'm alive tomorrow, I'm happy. You know what I mean? If I wake up, my past 3 years because of this sickness, like my mind is set on wake up, get up, and show up. You ask, where am I going to be in 20 years? I hope to God I'm alive. And if you ask me, where am I going to be tomorrow? I hope to God I'm alive.
Sure.
And
One
that's
day at a
it.
time, huh?
We're on
Yeah.
the right side of the ground. You know what
There
I
we
mean?
go.
When all else fails, we are on the right side of the ground.
Yeah. I mean, dementia is my passion, so I don't see me stopping anytime soon. There's still going to be, unfortunately, if this disease is still around and there's no cure by then, there's still going to be hundreds of thousands of people that are living with it, and even more as the baby boomers get older, right? So, um, I think this is going to be a needed thing for a long time, and I hope to be able to do it for as long as I can because it's something that I really enjoy, and to be able to help families in some of their most desperate times of need, I think is a huge honor.
It is. It's great work you're doing. That's amazing. All right,
People are at their most vulnerable, like when their loved ones are going through dementia. So
Yeah.
I give you a lot of credit and kudos for doing what you do, because that's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My granddad had Alzheimer's. It's tough watching a loved one
Mhm.
go through that, and he didn't even recognize me or my mom, his daughter. I mean, just seeing the end stages of it, it's heartbreaking to see somebody go through that.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, before we go, just get personal for just a minute. Obviously, you guys are big influencers and everything, but I'm sure people want to hear more about you. Are y'all married? Y'all have any kids? What do you guys like to do for fun?
I am happily not married. I have an ex-husband. It's a congratulations, not a
Hey, that's
sorry.
fine. That's fine.
I have a beautiful 13-year-old daughter that we co-parent very well with, and I spend a lot of my free time traveling as much as I can to warm places. I just got back from Dominican Republic, and I'm really sad to be back in Michigan, but and spending time with my daughter and my friends and dancing and just doing fun stuff.
Dirt?
I am a grandfather and father. I have 3 kids, 2 grandkids. My wife is my soulmate, so she's saved my life. She's everything. That's it. I want her face to be the last face I see when I die.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
And I'm I have a good career. I keep my career off of online presence just because of the nature of it. And then I have my side business with the building the simulators, and then most what we're talking about, the social media. I love my community, and I love people. I love making people laugh. That's my
awesome.
Laughter is medicine, and
For
life
sure.
is not
100%.
good unless you're laughing.
I agree.
So to me, that's me in a nutshell. Like I said, I don't go out much anymore. Older you get, the more like risk you see with life. So I tend to be a homebody now, but like I live in a like my garage is like my world. As I'm a gamer, and I've turned this into a gaming heaven. So
Nice.
Life is good.
Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all joining me. This episode's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed talking with both of you and getting your perspectives on everything. Before we go, it's plug time. Where can we find you? How can we look you up on your socials?
You can find me on Joanna Dementia Expert is how you can find me, or Joanna LaFleur on Facebook. Yeah.
And that's Joanna.
Joanna. Yeah.
Nice. I am on TikTok and YouTube. Dirt in the Box is my main one, and I just branched off. I'm starting to do a little bit of a different niche, I guess as far as gaming goes, with the Dirt Gaming Hub. So, but you just got to type in Dirt in the Box. You'll find me.
Awesome. Well, that's my show for this week. Please be sure to look up my friends Dirt in the Box on TikTok and Joanna LaFleur on Facebook and TikTok and support them. And don't forget to support me too. You can find my show on all the major podcast platforms, and also you guessed it, social media on X, Facebook, Truth Social, or you can email the show at thepppodcast@yahoo.com. Maybe TikTok will come in the future. For now, I haven't bothered setting one up since my show is currently only an audio-only format. But thanks again, and I will see you all next week.
Thank you for listening to the Politics, Prepping, and Paranormal Podcast. Your source for real news and analysis on politics, prepping, paranormal, conspiracy theories, and the volatile state of the world we live in. Tune in next week and every week for a new episode, and stay safe, stay healthy, and stay vigilant.